Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we are jumping into a big one, phenomenology. Yeah, I know, that word sounds a little scary, right? But trust me, by the end of this, you're going to see it's all about the most fundamental thing there is, your own experience.
So here's the game plan for how we're going to break this down. First, we'll ask, what even is it? Then we'll get to the absolute core idea, which is something called intentionality. After that, we'll meet four major thinkers who really shaped this whole thing, see why it's actually super relevant today, and then we'll wrap it all up by bringing it back to you and your own experience.
Okay, let's dive right in. What is phenomenology? Let's forget the dense textbook definition for a minute and just start with a really simple question.
Seriously, think about watching a sunset. I'm not talking about the physics of light waves hitting your eye or the biology of your retina. I mean, what is it like? The raw, first-person feeling of that moment. You know, the warmth, the colors, that sense of awe. That subjective quality, that's the territory we're exploring here. So here it is, the official definition. Phenomenology is the study of consciousness, but, and this is the key part, not from the outside looking in, like a scientist looking at a brain in a machine. Nope. It's the study of experience from the inside, from your first-person point of view. You could call it the philosophy of what it's like.
To really nail this down, it helps to see what it's not. Take another branch of philosophy, ontology. Ontology asks, what is a chair? What are its essential properties? Phenomenology asks a totally different question. What is my experience of this chair like? It's not about the chair itself, it's about how the chair appears to me. That's the crucial shift in focus.
All right, so if that's the goal, how does our consciousness actually pull this off? How does it connect to the world around us? Well, phenomenologists say it all works through this one central, incredibly powerful idea, something they call intentionality. Think about it. Our awareness is never just blank. It's always aimed at something. I'm not just vaguely seeing. I am seeing that specific fishing boat.
It's the same with hearing. It's not just a blur of noise. My attention latches onto that helicopter. My consciousness is pointing right at it. And this isn't just about our five senses. Even my thoughts are directed at something. They have an object, an idea they are about.
Even my will, my desire to get something done, is aimed toward a goal. Are you starting to see the pattern here? Our consciousness isn't some passive box that things fall into. It's active. It's constantly reaching out, pointing and locking onto things.
And this is what they're talking about. This constant directedness, this aboutness of our minds, is what phenomenologists call intentionality. And just a heads up, it's not about intending to do something, like I intend to go to the store. It's more fundamental. It means that consciousness is always of or about something. This is the basic structure of every single experience you have. Okay, so once this core idea was on the table, different philosophers just took it and ran with it in all these wild and fascinating directions. Let's meet four of the heavy hitters to see the different flavors of phenomenology they came up with. First up, you've got the founder, Edmund Husserl. He wanted to get to a pure description of experience, so he said we had to bracket the world. Basically, put aside all our assumptions about whether things are real or not and just focus on how they appear to us. But then his student, Martin Heidegger, came along and said, nope, you've got it all wrong. He argued we're not detached minds looking at a world. Our most basic state is being in the world. Think about using a hammer. You don't think about it, you just use it. You and the hammer and the nail are all one activity. Then you've got Jean-Paul Sartre, who took these ideas and created existentialism, focusing on our radical freedom and the intense experience of being seen by another person, what he called the look. And finally, Maurice Merleau-Ponty brought it all back to the body. He said we're not ghosts in a machine. Our lived body is the center of our world. It's how we experience everything. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. This is just a bunch of old dead guys arguing. But believe it or not, these ideas are more relevant today than ever before, especially when you see how they connect with modern science.
I mean, check this out. There's this incredible, cutting-edge field called neurophenomenology, and it does exactly what it sounds like. It combines two things. On one hand, you have objective, scientific data like brain scans, and on the other, you have detailed first-person reports from people describing what they're actually experiencing at that very moment. It's where the subjective and the objective finally meet.
This famous philosophical question really gets to the heart of why this all matters. Think about it. We could map every single neuron in a bat's brain. We could know everything about the mechanics of echolocation. But would we know what it's actually like to be a bat? To see the world with sound? Probably not. Science is amazing at explaining the mechanics, but phenomenology gives us the tools to explore the experience itself. You really need both.
So, after all that, the definitions, the thinkers, the brain science, what's the bottom line? What does this mean for you, right here, right now? Let's bring this all back home.
Let's just quickly recap the big ideas. Number 1, phenomenology is just the study of your first-person point of view. That's it. Number 2, the engine that drives it is intentionality, that simple but profound fact that your mind is always directed at or about something. And 3, its real value is that it gives us a language and a method to study the subjective side of our lives, the part that science can measure the effects of, but can never fully get inside. So here's the real takeaway. We spend every single second of our lives inside our own experience. Phenomenology isn't some weird abstract thing from a book. It's a toolkit. It gives us the tools to pay closer, more careful attention to the very fabric of our reality. And that really just leaves us with a question. It's one thing to learn a word, but it's another thing to use it as a lens. So now that you can put a name to this stuff, what are you going to notice about your own experience as you go about your day today? Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.